what's up friends, you Gypsy back here today with my week 7, I think it is, week 7 match in the NPL, up against my good friend Matty Brollic. And yeah, so today we're going up against Matty. I'm going to tell you guys what happens right now. We get completely destroyed by Magenta. We get 6-0'd actually, which is something that's never actually happened before in League, but I'll go into the reasons why. So we're going to start off with just going for a rundown through the team. So Matty's team is extremely threatening. It's got the best possible matchup versus my team. I think better matchup than any team in the league. Matty's just completely destroys mine. So just the core of Magenta, Zardex, and Delandris completely run through my team. Magenta does not care about anything on my team. I've got Infernate to check it offensively, but he has Landorus, like defensive Landorus potentially. He's got Rotom, he's got faster Azelf, faster Salazzle, and Meloetta lives a hit from full auto goes in return. So nothing on my team can beat Magenta comfortably unless I somehow get Infernate in on Magenta. But if Magenta gets up a Trick Room or a Calm Mind, then it literally just wins. So yeah, the reason this matchup is so difficult is because, you know, we've overcome tough matchups in the past. Like we had a fantastic result last week against Riz, who had an amazing matchup. The reason this matchup is so tough is because his offensive threats, if I give them even a second of leeway, they have the potential to set up and sweep my team. So Magenta, if I give it any time, if I give it any slack, it can set up a Trick Room or a Shift Gear respectively and proceed to sweep my team. Given the rest of it, the way the rest of his team pressures my quote-unquote checks to Magenta. So if I give Charizard X a spare moment, it can set up a DD and EQ Toxapex. It can just destroy my team. Landorus T, Double Dance Landorus T is the biggest threat outside of Magenta to my team. So when building, I built like seven different teams for this match. It was impossible to build for this game because if I brought something like Muck to check Azelf, Meloetta, and Salazzle, it opened up a really big weakness to Landorus. If I brought Dugtrio to trap Magenta, Magenta probably lives unless I'm banded, in which case if it's a Shed Shell variant, then Landorus gets a free switch in, or Azelf gets a free switch in, or Rotom gets a free switch in, and if he switches into Landorus, he can Rock Polish up on my switch out from Dugtrio and proceed to sweep my team. So yeah, this is without a doubt an unwinnable game, and obviously I'm playing Matty Brollic, who is an amazing player. He's a good friend of mine, like I said, and you guys all know Matty. He's one of the best players in the format. So we're gonna catch a fat L this game, and I'm just gonna run through the battle and tell you guys. We'll just watch the inevitable. So I'm gonna lead off with my Uxie, wanting to get rocks up. He doesn't have Zard, so rocks aren't as necessary, but they're still nice to chip down at the Salazzle, chip down at the Meloetta and the Azelf. I'm gonna go for Magic Coat turn 1 in case he wanted to go for a Toxic or get up his own rocks, which he does. He gets up his own rocks, but he's just going to adamantly stay and get up his Stealth Rocks. Fair play on his part, wanting to break my Dragonite's multi-scale. I'm going to foul play him here. The reason I foul play next turn is in case he wanted to go into Azelf or Meloetta. He could have easily gone into Magenta. Like, Magenta's so free on Uxie. This is the fucked thing about this matchup. Like, it just comes in on like all of my mons barring Infernape. So yeah, he's going to go into his Rotom to take the foul play. Takes nothing from it, and I am just going to switch out to my Shaman. Now he goes to the T-Wave here, perhaps predicting my Latios to come in, but I do go into my Shaman, and I half expected him to switch into Magenta, so I was considering clicking Earth Power. Not that it would have done too much, but it would have done a decent chunk. But he could have easily gone into his Meloetta, which is a great switch in. He would have seen how much, he's going to Volt this turn, he would have seen how much Shaman took from the Volt switch. Come to the conclusion that it is a specially defensive set, or he could have gone into his Salazzle, but I did feel like Azelf was also a play, because he may have expected me to make the aggressive Earth Power play, so I felt like Seed Flare was my best option, also in case he wanted to go into his Lando. So I did go for the Seed Flare as he just Volt switches out and brings in the Mon that is going to 6-0 us. And I go for the Seed Flare, don't get a drop. Had I got the drop, I could have really chipped him down with Earth Power the next turn, but he's gonna get these lefties recovery. So this is also a direct counter to my Mega Guard, so I couldn't bring my Mega Evolution this game either, which would have put in a decent amount of work barring the Salazzle. but obviously this thing just stands in its way. So I'm going to go into my Toxapex, as I really have no response to this thing. It's lefties and it's pretty fat, judging by the seed flare damage. So yeah, I kind of just lose to this right now. So he's going to go for the Carmine, and this turn I'm thinking that he might go for the T-Bolt, but he actually goes for the Volt Switch. I knew I could live a T-Bolt at that range of health. He goes for the... I'm forced to haze here, like I'm literally forced to haze. There's nothing else I could have done. I could have perhaps gone into Inferno predicting the T-Bolt, but as you saw, he did Volt Switch. And just in case he wanted to get greedy and set up more, I felt like Haze was the play there. But he just goes into his Meloetta, another Mon with no switch-ins. Had I brought Mark, I would have had a switch-in, but then I would have opened myself up to a Lando weakness, a Majerna weakness. It's just set up bait for Majerna. Like, I have Flamethrower on my mock set, but that is just easily eaten up by Carmine Majerna with lefty. So yeah, he's gonna go into his other Mon that has no switch-ins. I'm gonna go into my Shaman, because depending on rolls, I can take a Specs Hyper Voice and synthesis up, gauge the damage, as he does get 43%, and after lefties and rocks, I'm in range to die to another one if he gets that same high roll. And knowing my luck, he probably would get that high roll. So I just do switch out here, go into my Latios, knowing I can tank one at least, and tricking my Scarf. This does mean that it's harder for me to check stuff like Nasty Plot, Salazzle, and his own Azelf, but you know, I'm in a fucked situation. Like, I'm just gonna lose anyway, so I need to like potentially heal up my Shaman on this set, or maybe even set up with my Dragonite on like a Scarf locked Meloetta, because I am like a bulkier Dragonite. But he's just gonna take me out here. Now we're in a situation where like Shaman is still at a range where it can die to a Hyper Voice after rocks, depending on rolls, and I need Shaman to have any sort of hope in this game. Uzi can't do anything to this thing. It can foul play, but it just gets whittled down by Hyper Voices. Dragonite, he has a Rotom in the back with T-Wave, so I can't set up and win. Toxapex gets killed from that range of health. Infernape lives, and I felt as though he'd want to keep this around, potentially for like a late game, for like a Dragon Dance, if he was like HP Ice on his Meloetta or something like that, or even just having like a fast Meloetta, being able to outspeed a +1 Dragonite. So go for U-turn here, hoping to capitalize on the choke, but he does decide to stay in. Well, it wouldn't have been a choke, but it would have been a kind of misplay. But he does just stay in, and he's going to do a million with Hyper Voice. Inferno's going to die to Life Orb Recoil. And now Shaman is going to come in. Like, I have to try and not let him get a high roll. It wasn't even a high roll, it was kind of like a midish roll. As I am just going to synthesis up, but he's just going to switch out into the monster with no switch-ins. And yeah, he's just going to Carmine up, and there's nothing I can do at this point. I go into Toxapex, hoping to catch him on like a Fluor Cannon. And this turn I am going to switch back out to Shaman to try and get some health back on the predicted like Volt Switch, but he does go for the Fluor Cannon. He could have gone for that play, and I knew that Shaman would live at that range of health, but literally like all my team is set up fodder for this thing, so there's nothing I can do. Like I said, had I brought Dugtrio, I would have been able to trap this thing, but it is pretty bulky. I would have been forced to run a band set, which invites in, like, if he was a Shed Shell variant or a Shukaberry variant, he just kills Dugtrio anyway. Like, Matty's a really good builder, so it was, you know, definitely not out of the question to expect him to bring something to, you know, a way to capitalize on the potential Dougie. But he now goes into his Salazzle, which 6-0's my team at this point, and he's just going to click Toxic on my switch out to Toxapex. His corrosion ability letting him poison types, which is pretty cool. But now he's going to go back into Majerna. As I go for the Toxic, hoping he'll go into Rotom, as that would let me whittle down Rotom easier with Dragonite if I do set up a DD. But yeah, he's just going to set up with Majerna and essentially win right here, because Toxapex is going to obviously die. And yeah, I have my Dragonite in the back, and I can roost up, but he's at +1, so now his Dazzling Gleams will be breaking my, will be putting me below 50, so I can't like roost effectively. I go for the roost there. Showdown showed me 50%. However, I was actually at 49%, so I do get knocked out this turn with Dazzling Gleam and Multi-Scale wasn't activated, so classic Showdown. As now I'm just going to start Toxicking the Majerna, because obviously there's nothing I can do. So there we have my Week 7 match, blown back by a team that I, you know, as hard as I could prep for, I just couldn't overcome this matchup. There was nothing that, like, there was no team of 6 that I could bring that would safely ensure me victory versus his team. You know, had I brought Mark, potential Magearna could have, like Trick Room or Shift Gear could have won. Had I brought Dog Trio, that invites in, even after I kill, even if he wasn't Shed Shell Magearna and he lets me kill his Magearna with my Dog Trio, I need to be banned to kill. That just invites in Double Dance Landers to win, or even just Rock Polish Z move to win. Had I brought a fully offensive team, which I did have, like a variant of my team which is really offensive, Trick Room or Shift Gear Magearna just wins, and stuff like Specs Meloetta wins. Azelf also beats my offense, so yep, there was really nothing I could do versus this team. So that was that was definitely not an enjoyable game to play at all. But I hope you guys like found it funny or something like that. Like I'm sure people get a good laugh out of it because Gypsy King never gets 6-0'd, but in this matchup it was inevitable. Like I could have probably like secured like a 0-5, but Matty decided to preserve his Meloetta. I guess wanting to preserve the 6-0 or something. So that's that was a thing. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed. I'm not really like when this match happened, I was just kind of like, yeah, like I'm not surprised this happened. Like there was nothing I could do to overcome this matchup, and it was kind of inevitable. Matty brought some really cool sets too, like the Salazzle, the Toxic Salazzle. That was a nice set. But when you have Magearna and Lando, you can, like any set, beat my team really. Like a Double Dance, Defensive Lando, any variant of Magearna. Specs, Meloetta was bound to come because I don't have a normal resist. And had I brought Muck, my team would have just been even weaker. Like it would have been even less able to check Magearna offensively. So, and obviously more vulnerable to Lando. So that is just the way it goes sometimes. Can't really do much about such a fucking terrible matchup. But that being said, I'm not really taking it too seriously. Like it's what it is. Like at the end of the day, and it was obviously it's always fun to battle my boy Matty. And next week we go up against another one of my mates, Anthony Zazo, whose team is equally as strong. I don't know if like the matchup is as awful. I have shit matchup versus everyone in this league just purely because of the way I've drafted my team. I think it's like a very offensively based team, and it lacks, like I've got bulk, but it's easily capitalized on by opposing teams. But that's fine. We had a sort of try hard squad last year. Or we had a fun team last season, and we got the result with that. But this team is certainly more like I don't know. The synergy definitely isn't there as much, but we'll bounce back. And even if we don't, it's all good. It's whatever. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you next week.